Number 5. Sideways and Demolishor. Even after Megatron's defeat in the original Transformers movie, more and more Decepticons kept arriving all over Earth. To hunt them down, humans formed an alliance with the Autobots, creating a combined defense force known as Nest. After multiple successful missions, Nest was deployed to Shanghai, unaware that this operation would soon become an absolute slaughter. Ironhide, Sideswipe, RC, Chromia and Flare-Up, along with these two guys, joined the ground team in the search for Demolishor. The numbers were certainly on the side of Nest, but Demolishor had a huge advantage. Literally. This Constructicon stood over 80 feet tall and moved by slamming two massive wheels into the ground. Basically, he was an embodiment of destruction, and when he was finally found, all hell broke loose. He immediately began causing chaos, destroying a helicopter and unaliving dozens of Nest soldiers before escaping. To make things worse, he wasn't the only Decepticon hiding in Shanghai. The entire time, a cowardly Decepticon known as Sideways had been using Demolishor for protection. Now that Demolishor had been revealed, Sideways tried to use him as a distraction, hoping to flee unnoticed. Unfortunately for him, that didn't quite work out. Sideswipe quickly caught up to him, and between the two of them, he was the far superior fighter. Sideways knew he was cooked. Because of that, he didn't even try to transform and defend himself. He just kept driving, foolishly hoping to survive. Sideswipe jumped above him and threw his blade straight into the Decepticon's hood. When he landed, he reattached the blade and split Sideways in two, ending the Decepticon's life for good. While Sideways was successfully destroyed, Demolishor was still on the loose. As he entered the civilian parts of the city, he continued to spread chaos, leaving behind nothing but destruction and human casualties. But before he could fully disappear, Nest deployed its greatest asset, Optimus Prime. The Autobot leader parachuted down, climbed on Demolishor's head, and began blasting him with his cannon. At the same time, Ironhide finally caught up. Together, they knocked the huge Decepticon off balance. By then, Demolishor's fate was sealed. Optimus wasn't in the mood for taking prisoners that day, but he allowed Demolishor to speak his final words. And with them, the Decepticon delivered a chilling message. The fallen shall rise again. Optimus simply replied, "Not today," and pulled the trigger. Number 4. The Fallen. Demolishor wasn't kidding when he said the Fallen would return. You see, the Fallen used to be a Prime, known as Megatronus Prime. He and his brothers visited Earth all the way back when humans were still throwing rocks and spears at each other. Why? They wanted to harvest our sun. For that purpose, the Primes built a massive machine known as a star harvester. But then, they discovered us. Our existence alone was enough for the Cybertronian leaders to spare our precious star, except for Megatronus. To him, we were nothing more than insects. In an attempt to activate the harvester, Megatronus turned on his brothers. Luckily for the human race, they defeated him, and the massive alien machine was buried beneath a pyramid. Now this brings us to the second Transformers movie. As you might have already guessed, the Fallen survived, yearning for revenge. He told the recently revived Megatron that only a Prime could defeat him, and by then, the last surviving Prime was Optimus. Megatron, Starscream and Grindor engaged Optimus in a 1 versus 3 fight. As if that wasn't unfair enough, Optimus was also trying to protect the human protagonist of the original trilogy, Sam Witwicky. Even so, he fought back fiercely, slicing off Starscream's arm and brutally destroying Grindor by tearing his face apart with energon hooks. Ouch. Unfortunately, in the heat of battle, Optimus lost sight of Sam for just a moment, and Megatron seized the opportunity. He stabbed Optimus in the back with a sword, destroying the Prime's spark. With the last Prime gone, the Fallen could finally return. He was extremely powerful, capable of teleportation and even telekinesis. Without a Prime to stop him, humanity was doomed. Unless there was a device that could repower a Transformer spark, the Matrix of Leadership. During the final battle in Egypt, Sam Witwicky earned the Matrix and used it to revive Optimus. But the celebration was cut short. Before Optimus could even get back on his feet, the Fallen teleported straight to him and stole the Matrix. You see, the Matrix was the last thing the Fallen needed to activate the Star Harvester and claim our sun. When all seemed lost, the former Decepticon turned Autobot, Jetfire, made the ultimate sacrifice. He ripped out his own spark and offered his parts to Optimus. With this new upgrade, Optimus destroyed the Star Harvester and was about to give the Fallen the biggest whooping of his life. He started by separating the Fallen's fingers from his hand, and then used the Fallen's own staff to literally peel off his faceplate. Holy shit. After all that damage, the Fallen didn't stand a chance. Optimus punched a hole straight through his chest and ripped out his spark. The Fallen Prime laid defeated. For good this time. Number 3. Starscream. In the original Transformers movie, Starscream was a menacing Decepticon. He proved why he was the second in command when he defeated Ironhide and Ratchet in a 1v2, just moments before taking down almost an entire squadron of F-22s. Unfortunately, throughout the rest of the trilogy, Starscream became sort of a joke. Don't get me wrong, he was still a formidable warrior and even got some cool Cybertronian tattoos. But he also became Megatron's personal punching bag, always getting picked on when the Decepticon leader got angry, which was like all the time. In the end, it wasn't even another Transformer that ended Starscream's life. During the final battle of the third movie, Starscream went after Sam with Twiki. He absolutely hated the human and was determined to squash him like a bug. What he didn't know was that before the battle started, the Autobot inventor and engineer, Wheeljack, had given Sam multiple weapons, specifically designed for humans to combat Decepticons. One of the weapons was a grappling hook glove, and when Starscream found Sam, the human didn't hesitate. He aimed straight for the Decepticon's eye. Starscream immediately felt the intense pain and began flying around in panic. Then, he repeatedly slammed his head into the ground, desperately trying to ease his suffering. But his pain didn't end there. Sam pulled out another weapon, the boomstick. This one probably doesn't need an explanation. Sam drove the boomstick into Starscream's second eye, making the Decepticon completely blind. After that, it was only a matter of seconds before the boomstick went boom and blew Starscream's head off. Number 2. Soundwave. Not long after Starscream perished, Soundwave was next on the chopping block. As an extremely reliable communications officer, Soundwave didn't take part in any battles during Revenge of the Fallen. Instead, he took the form of a freaking satellite and coordinated his fellow Decepticons from orbit. But in the third movie, Soundwave finally came to Earth. He joined Megatron and Sentinel Prime, the former mentor of Optimus and the Autobot traitor who destroyed Ironhide. They planned to bring Cybertron into Earth's atmosphere and use human slaves to rebuild their home. For a while, it almost looked like they would succeed. You see, the Autobots tried to save humanity, but most of them were captured by the Decepticons led by Soundwave, Shockwave and Barricade. The Decepticons mercilessly executed Wheeljack, and Bumblebee was next in line. But just as Soundwave was about to pull the trigger, Wheelie and Brains sabotaged a huge Decepticon battleship right above their heads, and it came crashing down fast. The chaos that followed gave the prisoners a brief chance to fight back, and you can bet they took it. Furious over what the Decepticons did to Wheeljack, Bumblebee was about to give Soundwave one of the worst deaths imaginable. He gave him an uppercut with his cannon, and then blasted Soundwave's head off from the inside. That's what you get for messing with Bumblebee's friends. Number 1. Shockwave. Only moments after the Autobot prisoners freed themselves, Optimus pulled up and joined the battle. You see, Optimus and Shockwave had a rivalry from the very beginning of the third movie, and now it was time to finish it. In what might be the coolest scene in all of Transformers, Prime cut down multiple Decepticons until he finally reached the one-eye mad scientist and general. Shockwave was an incredibly dangerous and powerful Transformer, but at this point, he was already heavily damaged. Basically, his chances of defeating an especially angry Optimus were pretty much zero. Prime transformed his fist into a knuckle duster and punched a hole straight through Shockwave's body. Then, he sent him crashing to the ground with a left hook and ripped out his eye. With Shockwave gone, there was nothing left standing between Optimus and Sentinel. The two Primes clashed in one final battle that would determine the fate of both the Autobots and the human race. But we already covered that in the Autobots edition, so if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check it out.